Welcome to 1000 PS. Let me introduce you to something a little bit different. This is the QJ Motor SRT 700 SX. And yes, I've had to use my phone for notes because it's completely new to me. But let me show you the big highlight, and that is the price. In the UK, this complete bike is going to be just over £6,000. But is that money well spent? Well, there's only one way to find out. 2 days of testing here in Austria. Will this mid-sized adventure bike at just over £6,000 hit the mark, or will it come under a little under? So we just completed 2 days on the new QJ Moto. This is the new SRT 700 SX. And it's the first time I've ridden a QJ Moto. So it's pretty unusual to come to a bike when I've got no background or nothing as kind of a benchmark or nothing to base it on. It was kind of thrown to me from the guys from 1000 PS and said, get on with it and see what you think. In the UK, the dealer distribution hasn't been organised yet. It's just around the corner, but the bike will be available shortly. We think the price is going to be between £6,000 and £7,000 in the UK, because in Europe it's varying between €7,500 to €8,000, and that is fully loaded. So that's with panniers and top box and everything you see here. However, we do have optional heated seat and we do have optional heated grips. But we're going to be looking at around £7,000 in the UK for a 700cc parallel twin, fully loaded, ready to go. So let's run you through some of the specs. Starting at the front, big Brembo calipers. We've got Marzocchi suspension at the front. We've actually got an adjustable screen, which you can't actually do whilst you're riding. You've got to get off the bike, twizzle these two knobs, and it goes up and down. The handguards are standard. We've got a big clear dash, which is full colour. We've actually got backlit switchgear, big fuel tank. The panniers are standard. The top box is standard. The crash bars are an extra. In terms of rider modes, we've got nothing. In terms of rider safety, we've got nothing. So there are no rider modes, there are no traction control, there is no launch control, there is no way of changing any modes, there is nothing. You get on the bike, you press the kind of little bit of Fisher-Price switchgear, and away you go. We do have ABS, which is a little bit intrusive, but that is it. In terms of power, we've got 70 horsepower at 8,000 RPM, 70 Newton meters of torque at 6,000 RPM. Quoted seat height is 825mm, which isn't bad from a 19-inch front wheel bike, and their quoted weight is 243 kilograms. However, we weighed it with fully loaded, as you can tell, with the panniers and the top box, and we were over 260 kilograms. So for your little 700cc parallel twin, you've actually got the weight of a big BMW GS. But we'll glaze over that for a second, because let's remember that bargain price. The riding position is a little bit unusual and a little bit strange, because you think it's going to be an adventure bike. It's styled to be an adventure bike, but the bars feel more like a laid-back cruiser, almost a chopper. They're kind of like, feels like how a T-Rex would ride a bike. They're quite close to you and quite narrow. They're not really wide and prominent. They're quite close in and narrow. You sat very much in the bike, not on the bike, which is why I guess it's got that 825mm seat height. So it's not too intimidating. But the pegs are quite high and the tank is quite bulbous. So I wouldn't say it's cramped, because there's plenty of room for me, but some of the taller riders we've had on test did say it was a little bit snug. And in terms of performance, it's a little bit strange because it's a parallel twin, so you would expect it to have really low down grunt and low down bark, but below 4,000 RPM, there's absolutely nothing. It's like, where's all the power? And then there's like a kick at 4,000 RPM, and then another little kick at 6, and then it's actually not so bad in the mid-range. But if you pull out of a slow village or a slow corner in 5th and 4th gear below 4,000 RPM, you'll be waiting till Christmas. But these are the little niggles, these are the little hiccups you're going to expect from a fully loaded middleweight adventure tourer for around £7,000-ish. And I can kind of make a few excuses for it. So okay, there's not a lot of power low down in the bottom. When you get to the higher, it's more than capable of cruising at a decent speed, no cruise control sadly, but it does get a little bit vibey. Then when it comes to stopping and handling, you got Brembo brakes, so you're expecting something quite strong. But you got to remember, it is again stopping the weight of a GS. It's over 260 kilograms when you put the panniers on, plus rider. So that's asking a lot of work from these Brembo brakes, and they're just a little bit lacking. It's the same with the forks, they're just a little bit too soft and don't give enough feel. The shock, like the front, is on the soft side. It's more set for comfort and touring rather than anything performance related. The Metzeler Torrens rubber, they are Metzlers, they're not something that we've never heard of, but the model we've seen a few years ago, they're not the latest available rubber from Metzeler. So when it all comes together, it works, but it's up to a point. It's not a bike where you're just going to throw it on its side and enjoy some peg scraping angles of lean. It's not a fun, lightweight, agile, middleweight adventure bike. It's more of a, I'll just get on with the job and do it. It kind of gets you from A to B in relatively decent comfort with a bit of vibration, but in terms of excitement, fun and enjoyment, it is a little bit lacking. And I think this is where the argument for this QJ Moto is going to roll on, and hopefully in the comments below, because for the price it has everything there. It has Marzocchi suspension, it's got Metzeler rubber, it's got Brembo brakes, it's got 70 horsepower, 70 newton meters of torque. It's all there or thereabouts. The quality of the panniers and how they fit and how they're removed, they're really good. The clocks are simple, the switch gear is backlit, it's simple, it's easy, you just jump on it and you ride and it will just keep going and going and going and going. But in terms of open up your garage door and feel excited that you're going to go for a ride, maybe not. In terms of, is it going to be fun and enjoyable when the mood takes you, when you've got a dry road and these perfect roads we have here in Austria with the endless hairpins? Maybe not. But you have saved a huge lump of cash over the competition. And here's my other little argument. With the money you've saved, could you tweak this model to be on par with the competition and still save a few bucks? Could we improve the brakes slightly, fit some more modern Pirelli or Metzeler rubber, maybe even change the bars, and maybe even add an exhaust or an end can just to give it a little bit more bark, a little bit more feel and a little bit more power, especially off the bottom end where it's really lacking? I guess it all comes down to price and desirability. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to ignore the fact that it's not one of the prettiest bikes I've ever seen. They're going to ignore the fact it's not got a lot of power below 4,000 and get round a few of the niggles because it's got no traction control and it's got no rider modes or any of the modern day gizmos. What they are going to do is save a bucket load of cash, have a versatile touring middleweight adventure bike that is more than capable of doing everyday tasks all day, every day. And for that, that's what it does. It does what it says on the tin. It's pretty much unglamorous, it's pretty much basic, but it is cheap and it will save you some bucks. But I guess the biggest one for me is, how far is it off the competition? Is it £2,000-3,000 less than bikes like the Tenere and the Aprilia? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to put a group test together. Ridden in isolation, it does everything acceptably okay. It's above average. It does what it says on the tin. It's more than acceptable. There's nothing untoward. It's not evil handling. It stops, it goes, it starts, it runs. But that's about it. So to summarise, it's my first ride on the QJ Moto. It's sort of kind of what I expected, but it has the right ingredients. So even though the price is really low and really basic, they've not scrimped on the brakes because they're Brembos. We've got Metzler rubber, we've got Marzocchi suspension, we've got really good panniers that are easy to use and easy to fit. We've got a reasonably informative dash. We've got backlit switchgear. We've got everything is there. The recipe is there. The screen can be adjusted. We can fit heated sit. We can fit heated grips. It's just not quite matching and fixing together. All the right notes are there. We're just playing them in the wrong order. A little bit. But that's kind of what you expect for the price, is it not? If you go with a QJ, it'll be interesting to see your comments below. I think the majority of people who buy this bike are going to be looking at price and comfort and just want a bike to get from A to B, which is what it will do all day long. But then there's going to be the others that want something a little bit more glamorous, that when you open your garage door, it's a little bit more fun and a little bit more surprising. And you've got that sense of enjoyment and sense of ownership. And that's how it'll fall short when it comes to the competition. But hopefully here at 1000 PS, we'll get that competition and road test together for you shortly. We've hoped you'd enjoyed the little review of the QJ Moto. It's been a first for me and the first time I've ever tested a model from this manufacturer. But hopefully there'll be other models to come because this has whetted my appetite. If you've got any technical questions about this bike or where UK dealers are and availability, then please fire some questions below. Myself or one of the team will get back to you and we shall see you on the next one. Now, click the subscribe.